Are you sharing
So
your screen?
I just did.
I don't see it. There we go.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit of a delay. So we the monthly focus, when we were prepping for the leadership summit and what are the topics that we wanted to really hone in on with the teams, as well as um, the upcoming topics, the overwhelming response is, when we pull visitor records, let's just do I can pull that on the traffic light or whichever way, but if you go to your own chapter and pull the and when we look at the general membership, I haven't pulled the actual stat yet, but it's a rough guess of our members invite regularly, which is really low. And so you start looking at, the value of all that and how do we motivate our referral partners to invite people from their network. And that's really what it's about. And when I was coming up with the plans for we want to engage the people that aren't engaged in inviting visitors because they know people that use referral partners. And so I want to just pull that, and I would if, and I know it's a big if and we kind of giggle about it, but if everyone if everyone has one visitor in a month, that could be huge for your chapter. Whether they join or not is not what we're going for. The introduction, the warm introduction, is what we're going for, right? And so I want to pull those numbers. 2018. Oops, 2028 won't give us any numbers. There we go. Oh, there's an error. Hey, Anita, apparently I don't have permission to pull that report. I must have typed it wrong. But I'll pull those numbers, the stats with you on the visitors. Let me go. I know one place I can go and find it. Right here. So if you've not looked under the document section, and let's see the amount of visitors. And it's interesting because member traffic light, where are we? So March will be out by the 10th of April. They'll be posted. It's a pretty large file. But if we were to think of all, let's just kind of share some. Choir. But let's talk about it because I think we need to have more dialogue with our when we look at the visitor point but look at all the, I'm not showing you this to be a bummer, but get the member people to come.
I think we're seeing your current screen.
It said audio difficulty, but it re-engaged through the.
Is this your report?
I'm showing the traffic lights report.
No, we're not seeing it.
Okay, let me not share my screen. Well, I know, Wendy, you had problems with it, but yours is a black screen. There's something with your viewing, because I know last week when you said that somebody else.
Well, but I wasn't seeing it either.
Okay, can you see it now?
No, I just see the Monday morning mug thing.
Share my screen. It says I'm sharing my screen. Let me select the traffic lights.
There you go. Well, I went to it, but went back. There you
well,
go.
Basically, all you would see are a bunch of zeros.
Well, we see it now.
To look at. Yeah. So, and again, I would encourage you to pull that. And so now that we know the bleak look at that visitors, well, there's one way to go, right? Is up. And we talked about, and this is where when we think about, I want you to do a little math. Think about an average referral partner that, and I don't mean necessarily in BNI, you can kind of split the difference, but for those of you that get it, you're on here already. The problem then becomes we've got to get your other referral partners engaged in doing the same thing. And how do we do that? Is I think we just show them value. When I was a member and they're like, everybody, invite visitors. And to me, that always resonated with get someone to join. And I think we have to really take that off the plate and encourage people to say, when someone sends you a referral and it turns to business, what's your average sale worth? So that's what I want you guys to think about. What's your average sale worth currently? Ours is $259 or $249. Sorry, $249. I don't know where the 59 came from. So what is for those of you on the call, what is your average referral dollar worth to you? Anyone have an idea? Whether it's for the year, and if I were to say a client per year, one new acquisition is $249, but let's just say it's double that if they do a cleaning twice a year. So roughly $500, right? So does anyone have a number? What is your average client worth for you? Somebody give me a number other than myself. Thank you, Shelley. Ooh, Gail. So 2,500, and then we had. Let's see. Shelley said 6,000 a year for water damage. Oh, yay, Wendy, you see it. And so now I'm going to switch my screen in a second. But thinking about that and going back, and here's where this is okay. Jeff's is 24,000, right? Now our closing ratios may be all over the place as well. So, but I want you to think about. That's just one referral, right? What if it's a reoccurring partner that brings you more business? So we start with, Wendy's is about $5,000. So thinking about, even for you all, and again, we talk about it, and I know Wendy would like to punch me in the face when I say this, but thinking about having 5 invites by Friday to referral partners, referral sources, potential clients, whatever, for your own business. And it sounds like who has time to do that? We make time for what's important. And if we're saying that, if we're already saying that 30% of our business dollars in our chapters currently, now look at the numbers, okay? Lots of zeros on visitors, meaning, whatever that number is, we're already having 20 to 30% of the revenue of our chapters come from visitors. What if we take this number up in our own chapters 5%, just 5%, just 5%? Think about if we increase the visitor numbers and go back and talk to your leadership, go back and inspire, have them do the math on this to say the referrals are going to come from visitors, whether they turn into a member, that's key. If they do turn into a member, your referral numbers just skyrocketed, right? For every referral partner, and there are ways to really segment this out. If you're going to use your time wisely to just invite people in your sphere. No offense to the other spheres, but definitely invite someone to enhance your sphere, and just keep at it until you get someone to stick, so to speak. Now, some of them just won't. If you stay in touch with them on, regular basis, invite them to go network other places, is it work? Absolutely. But if you get one more client from a visitor, just one. And so with Anne-Marie, when you were saying you haven't gotten any business, or a visitor's not turned into business, maybe we need to look at, and I know you're in the health and wellness field, so maybe we make sure that there are other health and wellness related people that come to visit from your phone calls, from your hand, so to speak, so that number will go up. And I know you're probably inviting, and that's what I'd like for you guys to do. What are some of the industries that you have invited to attend your chapter? So if you'll text those in, that would be great. Because there's a direct correlation to building the relationship for your business. Now, granted, you can certainly build the relationship for others as well, but we're here to help your business first, and then others, as well. So givers gain and all that jazz, right? So thinking about what are the industries that currently aren't represented in your chapters, that if and when you get to know them better, it takes a little bit of time, right, to train them. If you were to have a one-to-one regularly, and I mean like once a month with them, sit down and review what you're doing, I think that your numbers will go up drastically. So what are some industries? Because the whole point of the Monday Mugs for this month is to say, okay, so carpet sellers, plumbers, and electricians. Okay, so Shelley, you guys don't have a plumber at your chapter currently, I'm assuming. And so when is the wedding mafia for Shelley? Okay, so a plumber, is there a certain brand of plumbing that you would prefer to work with? Okay, so more independent. So, and y'all's heard me talk about this, but again, I think it's just sitting down and actually writing out. So I want you, Shelley, all month to invite plumbers, or whichever. Pick one industry. I think that's another place that we kind of go awry. We're kind of everywhere. But a plumber, and I would agree that so when we think of smaller plumbers in your vicinity, who do you already know? What are the brands that you already know? And again, you guys do this for your industry as we're sitting on here, because that's really key. So I want you to think about, and a plumber can send you business because they come across issues, leaks, problems, and things like that, right? Water damage, obviously. And so, thinking about just ones that you know, just kind of drive around in your mind and think about who do you already know. And same thing for anyone else in your industry. So Jeff, Gail, some other folks that are on here that could lead to you business for you. Let's see if I can share my other screen. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second so y'all don't squawk at me. Okay, I got to pull something else up. So as we're doing that, I want you to come up with just one industry that you're like, you know what? Because here's the power in this is if you switch all of your weekly presentations this month, all of your energy inviting, be on the hunt for, and I say hunt because that's what I mean. That is your mission, is to line up as many plumbers as you can to come to your chapter, because you can send them business as well. Other people can send them business. They'll benefit. And oh, by the way, if then you have one more plumber sending you, on average, I don't know, just 6 pieces of business, then your thank you for closed business, Shelley, goes up by, what was it? $36,000 a year. If Mrs., if they send you about 6 a year, I think that would be a fair assessment, wouldn't you? So all of the quote effort, people are like, it just takes, it takes time. Well, isn't that what we're here to do, is build our business and as a backup, help everyone else. But then we have all the other plumbers that you're going to come across that don't join, that you develop a relationship with, that you network with outside, that you meet for coffee, that maybe you send some, follow-up goodies to, that now they're your go-to person. Maybe they didn't join, but you open dialogue with some of them. And those are, maybe you don't get 6 referrals over the next year, maybe you just get 1. So all of the effort, and let's break down, is it worth our time? This is where I think a lot of us, we get distracted and we're reactionary, right? So all of our business coaches are shaking their head, yep, you got to be specific in your plan, and really focus on what you want to go for, and don't get distracted. I call it background noise. With background noise, there's a lot of background noise that takes our focus off. And as business people, especially as marketing folks for our business, we have to work very smart and not create a bunch of extra work for ourselves. So this is the platform. You're there every week. You spend your time and have 5. And so think about that. And Shelley, I don't know if you've been able to do this. If you were to have 5 invites to new plumbers by Friday, so 5 times 4 is 20 invites. Surely to goodness, you'll get one of those people to show up, if not more, to your chapter to say, hey, we have, and kind of do a poll for how much value have you all sent to other plumbers. And again, you guys have to apply this for yours, because she's the first one to give me the details on who she was looking for. So I keep using her as our example. So how much business can the rest of the chapter send to that plumber? What do you think, Shelley, of the people in your sphere? Or how much would you be able to send? And I don't know, y'all may have to do some work on what that looks like, but who is, or how much could they benefit, right? And that's the biggest thing, is when we call them, we can come up with a list a mile long, but then what we say when we call them is, okay, so probably a customer or 2 a week, maybe $1,000. So let's just cut that in half and say maybe $2,000 a month, right? Maybe. Well, that's still not bad for a plumber. And I will tell you, there's a plumber that is in the Southside chapters, and it's family run. And I only know that because he attended training. If you were to call them, I'll have to look up. If you go to BNI ATL, and this is where our power of our network comes in, you guys. If we go to bniatl.com and go under, scroll down a little bit and do find member. It's Rapid Plumbing, I believe. And I'll watch if
we're not seeing your screen again.
Well, I'm not there yet. So if you go, and you can, if y'all are on your computer, go to BNI ATL and type in an industry that you want. And here it is right here. Here's Rapid, Go Rapid is the name of it. Jack Pitts is actually the owner, and now his son is replacing this guy, Hunter. But so if you were to reach out to them, now they're in Noonan, and you may think, Kathy, they service all over. They have referral partners with other plumbers as well, and especially for something that north. If you look up Jack Pitts, I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope, yay, he has his profile built out. But you could give him a call and say, hey, we are in a chapter way over in Kennesaw. What plumber do you know over here? And oh, by the way, who do you need for your group? And offer to help as well. So that's one way, but you know a lot of other plumbers. So let's just go to a Google search. Not that these are, and just see if any of these, I would ask your members to collect like junk mail from their local mail that comes into their home, and have a contest to bring in plumbing information. What if he would be willing to call? Yes, that is a great thing, is to use the power to say, hey, you know what? Why don't you talk to another plumber that has a successful membership in one of our other chapters, and just ask him, you know, hey, and you might be surprised. They may actually have someone that lives up this way. I don't know. I know I know they service all over. They do commercial as well. So that's a great way to say it, is use that member as a resource to talk to or bounce ideas off the person that you're inviting. Now, remember, we're just inviting them to come network, not to join, but I think it would entice people to say, man, you got to go at least visit, check this group out. But if we were to go to plumbers, you're in Kennesaw, plumber in Kennesaw. Now, this is a cold call, right? Technically, we don't know these folks. And we've talked about this over and over and over, but go ask people who they know, 25 best plumbers. I mean, there's tons. If you were to go on Nextdoor and then on your Facebook page and just ask, who do you recommend as a plumber? Ask people to go through their drawers and their magnets that they have at their home. Check their water heaters to see what plumber put it in. Usually they'll have like a sticker that they put on there. So you can come up with a really warm list of people, and same thing for all of the other industries that you guys are talking about, and just calling them to invite them to say, you know, I don't have a plumber I currently partner with in this area, and we'll have opportunity to send a plumber business. You know, I'd love to get to know you and your team and maybe send you some business. So I think that's really powerful. But again, look at the numbers. That's what I really want to get to, is looking at the numbers of that you guys have talked about. You know, on if this referral partner or and that gets into developing the whole power team. But let's see, there was something I wanted to share. I thought it was a really good graphic. Let me find it. So anyone else come up with an industry that you're going to focus on? And hop on here, because you guys, I don't know, does anyone know a plumber in the area that you could introduce Shelly to? And you're probably like, no, I need them for my group. But you might, you know, you might be able to help each other out on here as well. But I would like to know who you all need, and I'll work on helping. That's it. We're literally calling stump Kathy, stump the office. We don't want to be stumped, but let us know what are those industries. And again, I implore you to go back and sit with your sphere and say, hey, you guys, let's add this up here, because if you sat down together in your sphere, is in total up how much business you could send to someone and how much you could get back. I think that will motivate your folks to actually take action, whether they're sending a postcard out. Heck, you can invite from the app. You can get their thing and just send an invitation that says, hey, I've got business to send to someone in your industry, and only if that's true. Don't make it up. Oh, thank you, Anne Marie. But think of, so massage therapist, just invited one who's used another chiropractor. Okay, so we need a massage therapist at your chapter, so I'm going to help work on that as well. And then who else? Shelly Plumber, got it. Jeff, I think, already hopped off. Anyone else want me to go fishing for an industry? Gail. Who else is on here? Let's see. So I have Miss Beverly. So, okay, I got to type these in. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So we have, and we'll work together on this. I mean, it's, you know, that is what we're here for. So we have Shelley Plummer, Anne Marie Massage. Who else did we just have? Wendy, I don't know if you had. Teresa, I think you said a photographer. I'm just going through the logs to find it. Oh, here we go. Man, home inspector. It's killing me that we can't get you a home inspector. Everybody, we have had, I don't know how many home inspectors out in the Cobb Connectors area, but Lord Almighty, we got to get a home inspector out there because Wendy, you could probably send several. That's my mission, home inspector. Shelley Plummer, Anne Marie, who else? Teresa. And Teresa, does it matter what type of photographer? Business banker. You guys lost your banker? Banker. These are, I don't want to say they're easy, but I'll get right on it. For banking. Okay, I'll get on it. So I have Anne Marie Massage, Wendy Home Inspector, oh my gosh, Teresa Photographer, Beverly Banker, Shelley Plummer. Anyone else? I know we had more people on here. Okie doke, taking orders, closing orders. I think, did I miss anyone? No. And if you weren't able to chat in or talk, email me so that we will take the order and work together to get some traffic over your way. And I'll do that in a bunch of different ways. So be on the lookout for a couple of emails. All right, thanks everybody. What I would highly recommend is go back and do that little bit of a math discussion on what is your average client worth. Hey, I was on this webinar. We talked about how we can expand this. Let's work together. I mean, that is a big miss, is that we are all independently inviting, where in open networking, you could just corral 3 of your contact sphere people and say, hey, you guys, pull out your phones, pull out your apps. Who do you know in this industry that we can invite right now standing here? Because I think people get busy and they don't do it. That just flat out, they just don't do it because they get busy. So I think they have good intentions. So, all right, have a great week. And we'll see you guys next week on here with a referral partner from your chapter. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks.